Hello, welcome for a stream tonight dedicated to our Kickstarter to make this game much better. So here you can see the book, you can see the original art I licensed from Bodieh, an artist which I love, and that I thought was extremely fitting for the theme of the game. But this artwork was only licensed. Now we've got, as you see next to me, we've got commission original art, and there's more to see. But tonight is all about that, so we're gonna show you that because I'm joined by no other than Bodieh. Let me. There you go. And Bodieh
Hello.
is unmuted. Hello, good evening, Bodieh. How are you? Thank you for indulging in those technical shenanigans.
No worries. It's good to be here.
Do you stream often actually on Twitch or no? No, and then you do have a channel and everything.
I go through phases. I used to on and off for a while, but maybe like once every 3 months I do a stream. Like it's just when I'm just usually if I'm doing a lot of drawing, like I used to do a lot more only drawing, and now I do a lot of drawing, but with writing as well. And I can't stream and write, but so if I have big illustration projects, I do a bit of streaming.
Nice. I see. Actually, yesterday I was following Lord Neptune, who's doing audio editing. That
Oh,
I didn't watch a Twitch stream for quite a while, but it brought me back when I was editing my own podcast. But yeah, tonight is not about podcasting; it's about game design and art. Uh, would you care to introduce yourself briefly? Where are you from? What do you do? Or were you brought to role playing game?
I am. My name is Bodhi. I publish stuff like role playing game stuff under SlowQuest, and I do illustration and writing and game design, mostly in the like mostly in TTRPGs, like mostly D&D kind of stuff, like fantasy role playing games, a bit of Mothership, and board games as well. Yeah, and every now and then I'm lucky enough to do like be brought into a cool project like this one, and I get to do art for other people's board games, which is also really fun.
It's alright.
Yeah.
It's not been. I commissioned Rollin Guns before for the logo of the Rollis podcast, and I think it was one of his worst experience. I really felt like I was a horrible commissioner. I'm not saying that as a dig at Rollin Guns. He's absolutely lovely, but it was my first time commissioning someone, and I
Yeah, it sounds
can
like a
be
dig at yourself.
can be quite specific.
uh,
All right, I'm just gonna put on the well between the two of us. Where is it? Yeah, there you go. So I brought here an image of. So that's the image of the cover. And yeah, as I was saying, a little trick for people out there designing a game. With Bodieh, I found out something is that if you happen to see an artist with artworks that already exist and that fit your role playing game, it's actually much cheaper to license them from that artist rather than commission original stuff, because I guess as an artist it's gravy, right? You already been paid or did something. Having someone purchase the license, I guess it's all right.
yeah, it's nice. It's like I think you were the first person that's done it with me, and it was such a nice idea. I mean, it's nice because someone likes your artwork, and you've already done it, and you just get some money for it. So it's quite good.
It was, for me it was really crazy because I had quite a specific set of things I wanted. I wanted something line art that works well in black and white. And of course, the whole theme of Magic of Inventorying is about objects, encumbrance, and so on. And there you go, you got this troll over here, which couldn't be more overburdened and even use a shield as a helmet. So and plus your Instagram, especially then, I think now you mentioned Mothership, you've gone doing other things, but uh, your Instagram then was really this huge collection of quirky objects, and that was really perfect and lovely for the project.
Yeah, it's yeah, I love making just random objects. It's like my favorite thing is to just draw little things like that. I now do a warm up drawing every day where I just draw like one object. At the moment, I'm doing doors, and I just draw a different dungeon door every day, just like for like 20 minutes or something. But it's like that's my favorite thing.
Except, do you remember how and why you drew that troll initially?
I don't think it was for anything specific. I think I just wanted to draw some characters, and I can't remember. I think it's like the story I gave it was that it was like wandering a garbage dump or something. I think I can't quite remember.
Yeah, and I don't have it. Well, actually, it's on. I'm gonna put myself back here. On the back, there was kind of a sibling of his, which was I guess a bard also, being of a burden.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on. Let's see what we are at next. I put the together. Well, yeah. So this one, so it's gonna be interesting tonight because it's about the journey of Magic of Inventorying and my collaboration with Bodieh. So this one, what you see is the cover of the improved Magic of Inventorying when it was still Paris Gondo, the life-saving Magic of Inventorying, but before I was joined by Grumpy Bear stuff. So that's a time when I was planning for this Kickstarter. I think it was like 4 years ago on my own. So this was supposed to be the improved new cover of Magic of Inventory. Again, back then it was still the full title. But yeah, I remember asking you, and we had a bit of back and forth for the same character basically, but further in the future. I find it's quite fascinating the evolution of your style between the two.
Yeah, it's fun to look at actually. I definitely I don't know, I lost some wobbliness which I kind of miss sometimes, but I also I don't know, it's yeah, I think I started using thicker lines a bit more too. And no, it's yeah. I'm trying to think if the first one would have been with ink because I work digitally almost exclusively now. Um, you can't usually like there's a point on my Instagram where I know that I switch between digital and ink, and I don't think most people could tell. I only know because I know. But yeah, I mean the style has. I think I'm still. You can tell it's my work, but it definitely has changed a bit.
It's what I find funny. I remember is that so on the second one initially it was not included, but we've got this head in a jar, and we've got I think there's the ducky as well. I don't know. Yeah. So first there's the head of in the jar, and
The
I
duck
think
in the
when we
hand, yeah.
engage, your original actually it's not supposed to be a head or a face in a jar, but that's how
Yeah.
I interpreted it. So when you do, I commissioned the next one. I asked you to do something that was going even further in this direction, and I think the ducky initially was a finger or something, which I interpreted as the little duck. So I asked you actually turn that into a duck because that's really in the vibe of the game. That actually, I decluttered, I removed the head in the jar, and now I'm gonna have
Yeah.
a rubber ducky to carry around, and very clearly our troll is much happier now that he's gone through the Gone Paris method.
Yeah. Uh,
Moving further, so now, I personally I love those. I really wanted to share those with people who are interested in the game. So this is when we Grumpy Bear stuff. So it's a established Italian publisher. They tried the game at Dragon Meat several years ago, and following that, just before as I was ready to launch the Kickstarter, the team of Grumpy Bear stuff offered that we do the thing together instead. Well, not was not the right way. We had a conversation, and but for me was like, well, hang on. In that case, why don't I postpone the Kickstarter and we'll do the Kickstarter together? And this is Artnot, Rita from their team, the graphic designer who did the sketch for what would be the box art, the cover, the new cover of 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 the game. So left hand, all the objects, characters running towards an exit, and back then the title was still Paris Gondo. We had back and forth, and yeah, dungeon vibe and so on. What did you think when you received that sketch? I mean, do you get commissions like that often? People sketching something as a starting point.
yeah, I think it's great. Like I think that's the kind of level of detail that is really good, because I think you don't want someone with too much detail or too much artistic ability to like start informing it too much, but it like gets the idea across in a great way. Like I think this is almost an ideal level of sketch to receive as an illustrator.
I'm
um
there's gonna be some reveals later, but I'm very proud of my own contribution to that process. We'll see that later. So this was your first sketch. So for people familiar with the current one, but the souvenir skull mug actually is from the replay. That's no, it's not from the replay. It's from the game. It's in the starting inventory of the barbarian. We lost that mace. We already had the teddy, which is great, that people can see at the bottom of our screen right now. We had the crown, which I can put the crown on if I do this. Uh, yeah, the whistle. So there's a bunch of things that were already there, but I had an annotation for that, and that's my masterpiece. It's really this annotation, I think. Uh, but yeah, trying to express what I had in mind. I work in a design environment. It's highway engineering, so it's quite different. But I personally find that too often people rely on text and words to describe their idea, why copy pasting things quite quickly actually is a good way. So here, I guess what I was trying to express, and I think it worked in the end, is that I wanted the troll back, so there's continuity with the previous one. We never did it, but there was the idea of someone crashed by a piano. And then some tension about yeah, people yelling, moving towards the exit. So, what was that useful? You think to have this type of input?
well, again, I think this is great because it's not you trying to draw what you want, you're just trying to give a vibe of what you want, and I think it does that great. Like it's yeah, it's I think it's perfect. I mean, it helped a lot.
Let me try to unblock you because yeah, no, it's frozen. It's my OBS does that.
But I've frozen on mine in. Oh, come back, come back.
All right, that's just me. Okay, there we go. What we'll do with your avatar, if you manage to make it work, but otherwise it doesn't matter. Moving on, next sketch. Much more action. The troll is back, got arrows shooting and so on, and then the introduction of the lady with the afro. I remember it was summer and I watched Black Klansman at my father's, and the lead female character in that has got this great afro, and I thought it would be very nice and iconic
Hmm.
for the game. And I think you just did one sketch and that's it. You had it done. And yeah, the tentacle for the monster on the side was also really cool.
Yeah, balances out good.
And
Huh.
then we had a lot of exploration for. Oh yeah, there was more. Yeah, more clutter. That was my suggestion. Uh, bring back the head of in the jar, which didn't come back actually, but the ducky came back. So yeah,
It
final
did, yeah.
image, shadows, really dramatic and nice. Some
Yeah.
some reference to Dragon Ball. I did get my piano in the end, although it has not already crushed someone. And then
I
a
think
lot.
I
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
the scanner, the Dragon Ball scanner. Like I think whenever I have to do a sci-fi character, usually they're wearing one of those, just because that was my like main. I mean, I watch Star Trek a lot, but like my earliest sci-fi influence was definitely Dragon Ball Z.
I love Dragon Ball. I've been reading the manga with my 7 years old for a while now. I need to grab back the issues which are still at my mother's abroad. But it's it's such a cool. art Akira Toriyama. I find just such a
Yeah.
fascinating seamless merging of fantasy, science fiction, and yeah, pulp things all together, and old military that I really like.
Yeah, it is. Um, can I? I'm just trying to refresh this page to get my camera back. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead. Continue talking over. What I really like here is the introduction of the light. It's not as contrasted in the final box, but it's kind of the point. But yeah, I really like, you really feel in the black and white version the idea of that's the exit. That's a light at the end of the tunnel, and they're running towards it. I'll move on to the colors. I really like how yeah, the whole sequence. I really wanted to share that because it shows all the back and forth we had together to find something that's right. Yeah, you're back with us.
Don't know what happened, but yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I was saying the first color version, and I really like. This is the longest sequence. We won't have sequences which are as long for the other artworks, but yeah, I mean it's the cover of the box, so of course it's very important. But yeah, I guess the original idea was to the attempt was to remain in kind of the yellow palette of the original. Do you remember picking those colors and working on them?
For this version, yeah, it's funny looking at it. Oh, my original, like the original. I mean, I always had a palette. I have like a slow quest palette of colors that I use, and looking at these are using them. But it's interesting looking at it. I've, you know, I all I see now is the new version, um, which definitely feels more like a board game box. Like it's a bit more like I don't know. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty different.
I was a bit surprised with some decision at the beginning. I'm all for them, but selling the original, I thought yellow was quite good. You know, on a booth at a convention or on a on the shelves to attract the eye. But yeah, having engagement, we went to for some things which were yeah more in the green, more calming. I'm not I don't quite remember yeah the argument for that, but yeah I believe Grumpy Bear stuff were the team was right about that. The only
I
thing
don't
at
know.
this
I
yeah,
don't. I don't feel like the. I mean, it's a really nice color what we have now. I think the important thing was more so the simplification of the whole palette to just those like the background is this color, the items are this color, the characters are this color, rather than a more general like that. What you've got up there now looks more like a scene from a cartoon or something.
yeah.
Um,
But that's a bit the yeah we started going there, and then yeah I think I was among the ones who pushed very hard for less different colors actually, and now this
yeah,
led not I don't think it was really planned, but it was as a reaction to the cover. Now the rogue is blue. The cards for the rogue are blue. The cards for the fighter are pink, and the cards for the barbarian are this orangey tinge. I think also it worked thematically in the cover because there's this kind of this idea that uh, the objects belong in the dungeon, so they got the same color as the creature,
yeah.
and the character who's maybe at risk of remaining in the dungeon is on as a color which is close to the objects in the dungeon. So you got this
Ooh.
tension I find story wise of saying, okay, is this troll gonna be end up just being part of the dungeon?
Yeah, that's some deep reading, which I'm going to pretend was intentional.
Well, it became intentional over time because we'll see after. Then when we asked for more art for the dungeon cards,
Yeah.
We made the wizard red, and I don't remember the color. We're gonna see them in a moment. But yeah, long story short, that's the whole process for the box art and the cover. And the artwork itself is larger because it's meant to fold around the edges of the box. I didn't bring an integration, but yeah. So that's not Rita. That's me. that's that's my own sketch when we started discussing the dungeon. So in the game, you've got a deck. You got 3 decks, and each deck six cards. We got a stretch goal actually to add cards to that, but each deck's got prompts for you to create the dungeon. So you've got a prompt which is a type of place, so it can be a forest, a citadel, a ship. Then you got a deck for prompts which are descriptors, which are sugar coated, horrific, post apocalyptic. And then you got a deck which is the ruler of the dungeon. And at some point, I think it was Flavio from Grumpy Bear who had the idea that the back of the 3 decks, when they fold it so you don't
Mm.
see the prompts, because you're going to draw them randomly, form a triptych like that. So, and I remember just sketching that in my notebook immediately as we were having a Teams call, and just sending it back to you, and off you go. This is your Bodieh challenge, to turn that into something that looks like something.
Yeah, I mean I mean I love drawing this kind of thing, like, especially making it a set. I think it made it a bit, it was like a little scene in itself. I think that's, I don't know, it was a good idea, and I really like doing that sort of thing. But then each of them had to have its own like lines to
Mm.
separate it, that you couldn't have anything in that sort of safety area. So it's a fun problem to solve, and I think it ended up a bit. I think by default I would have done like a straight line, but I think it was fun to kind of, it's almost like a zigzaggy sort of thing in the
Yeah,
end.
yeah.
It was really, sorry, my dog wanted to come in and check on me,
Hello, dog.
and now she wants to leave.
Dog says go pledge on the Kickstarter for all the dog lovers over there.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah, I like the danger and the sequence here of you enter the dungeon, there's a door, there's traps in the dungeon, and then there's monster which you can assume is the ruler. So although it's not stated in text that descriptors type of place and ruler deck, it's kind of foreshadowed by the deck
Mm.
itself. Yeah, I really love this one. Also, I don't know how you feel about that. We, I mean, people can see well around me right now on this thing, and if you go on the Kickstarter page, we use the hell out of your all of your illustration. Like we used the characters independently. We use the bat. We use the torch.
Yeah, I saw the bat. It's funny.
We really use our money worth of out of what we already commissioned from you. So this is my own slide a bit, my own art. So this is not even the original one because I found it here. So the very first version of the cards were actually that. I don't even remember. Probably using design at my architect job at my office to do this first prototype. Then here what you see is the version that was first sold in 2021, I think, at Dragon Meet, or was it 2022? It was just post pandemic, and the cards were actually that size. And by the way, Ratty in Kentucky in Canada, a lovely independent TTRPG store, still got those box sets with those version of the game. I'm actually planning to order one of them back because I don't have one in a good state anymore. So I'd like to have one in a vibe. Then this evolved in larger cards, which are these. But yeah, moving on. So this is again the Kickstarter that never was. That's a version I try to do on my own, trying to make things look a bit better. Then that's what Rita did. as the first prototype made by Grumpy Bear, and then we commissioned you, and then Bodieh jumps into things. It's interesting, I think, because yeah, it's more UX interface and so on. You have an experience doing things like that, character sheets and things which are more like uh, utilitarian.
Yeah, I think character sheets is probably the most common thing that I've done for that sort of thing. I'm trying to think. I've worked on a few other board games, but a lot of that was more just like the feature art, not like the actual design of this sort of thing. But it was fun because like yeah, it's hard to make it look organic because it's a backpack while still keeping the clear sections and shapes. But it was a fun problem to work through for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't find. Well, I guess quite simply, actually, the design was from Rita. The idea was that you have the flap on top where you put your
Mm,
name. It was the idea already of having the keychain where you put the character class, so we knew that an icon would go there, and then you had the three stats. While my own design had a fourth place to put something, and the bit for the text, and it's really lovely when the bits for the stats become actual pouches or pockets
mm,
on the back. But yeah, the feedback then was that it for me was it looked like a school children high school kind of a Japanese
yeah,
high school student, very strict back. So yeah, the next feedback and what you produce was the idea was okay, how can we make this thing feels like it's about to burst because it's full of other things, and you made the flap turn into a more of a bedroll, and the keychain come more like more organic. But and the idea that used that organicity, I guess, the organic aspect to make the spaces for
yeah.
the numbers even larger.
Yeah, it's a good design. It's nice. I
Good
like
job.
it's nice seeing this like going through the stages again.
Pat yourself in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, where is it? Okay, cleaner version with the icons for usefulness, the little wrench, encumbrance, the little weight, and emotion, which has always been a challenge to come up with an actual an actual icon for. But show me emotion.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a good solution
Yeah, no,
though.
it works. Although,
Yeah.
okay, I shouldn't say that, but I realized recently using an app that our icon for emotion is kind of getting stolen by Gen AI companies. I've noticed that when you use certain apps,
Oh,
you've got a button to use a AI agent, and actually it looks a bit like our emotion icon, which is a bit sad.
really? Oh, that's familiar. Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, here's an example once. That's not from an actual session, but that's when you start populating in. I got actually got one here from the last session I played with a bunch of friends. This picture is
Nice.
on a skeleton key for a rogue. It still says thief because our Italian friend translated rogue, translated. I don't know what happened. I don't know why rogue became thief, but yeah, it's definitely rogue. I keep just reminding that. It's just I'm using an old prototype, and when you draw your affiliation, you get it's still
Yeah.
written thief on it.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
a thief is a rogue. I guess all thieves are rogues, but not all rogues are thieves.
uh, funny. I would have thought it's the opposite. I don't know.
Really? Oh.
Anyway, yeah, great. I wanted to show an example also of people drawing on the cards. That's lovely when it happened, and flipping bag of transformation is actually, I think. Looted items. I know that's the back of the card. So, oops. No, need to go back further. So yeah, initially when I was working on my own, I mean, I didn't have the idea for the bags at all. That's Rita's contribution as graphic designer. What was there? Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. So yeah, it used to just say looted item at the back, and then Rita did that, and yeah, and then you did that quite simply. So it's fitting for the previous one.
Sorry,
I don't know.
the
It feels
the visuals
no,
are a
I
bit
did it
delayed.
again. It seems for the back it was quite straightforward.
Yeah. Sorry, the visuals that you're showing, because I'm watching this, the only way for me to see them is to see the stream, and so it's like about five
Yeah, yeah.
seconds delayed.
And
So,
I clicked the stop
okay.
thing, which means it went back. Yeah, so yeah, there we go. We're back to the back of the backpack. So yeah, I was seeing like I think you did one sketch and then we said okay, that's it, and you inked it, and then we were there. What we added I think is a patch on the bedroll that
Yeah,
reminds people of the class, which you don't see here because it's a looted item, so it doesn't have any predetermined class.
I think by the time we got to doing this, we'd done the other side. So I think the style and how it was meant to look was a bit more. I think we were all on the same page by then, so it sort of was easier to just move straight into like pretty quickly on to ink.
The hardest was the cover, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, the evolution, one of the original thing I did on my own, black and white because it was cheap. Working on my own Kickstarter alone, with a background using something I did commission for you, which I'm sad we're not using. I suggested we use it for
The pattern,
something,
yeah.
but I like this pattern
It is a good pattern, yeah.
yeah, and then yeah, but yeah, Grumpy Bear was that. Yeah, the graphic identity of the version is slightly different.
Did I
Uh,
make that pattern for you, or did I it
yes,
exist already? Okay,
but
yeah, I was gonna say I thought I did that.
I mean, I did pay you to create it. If you
No,
found
I
it
can't
in
because
a drawer.
no, I figured it was. I just that's why I was asking. I was like, I'm pretty sure it wasn't existing because I've done a few patterns, but not many. Yeah.
No, no, no. Yeah, I think you made it for that one for me. I really liked it. Yeah, the front. So that's the adventurer cards. So these are the ones from. That's your character sheet in essence, which consists only in a name and a maximum encumbrance, which is missing here. That's the little. Oh wait, arm. So for the rogue, it's 14, and the rest you fill with a dry erase card. Yeah, here you got the maximum encumbrance. The little, I would call that banner hanging to with the icon of your character class. So here it's the rogue with the
Mm.
padlock. Yeah, again an example
Hmm.
of the thing populated. Which doesn't work because here they are too encumbered. So they should have an encumbrance ratio of -2, which is not allowed. And I wrote the game in a certain way. You're not allowed to just do nonsense like that. Hey, welcome Lono and Jack, and a big thank to Jack. Jack Vincent ran quite a few demonstration of the game across the Atlantic in the US. So thank you so much for that. Glad you love the work, Lono. Oh, starting inventory. So that's the back of the character thing. Again, little sketch that I made based on our discussion on the fly. So the idea became to have kind of we discussed about having shelves or on a wall or
Mm.
something like that. Then it became the idea of a poster, and finally settled for something more like a I guess it's a grocery shopping list of sort, a medieval
Yeah.
one with the list of the starting inventory item, a seal which with the icon of the class, and a couple of relevant objects which are waiting on the piece of parchment and keeping it into place. And yeah, that's what we ended up with.
Yeah, I think the shelves was a really fun idea, but I think it was going to be too hard
Yeah,
to
yeah.
appropriately fit all of them in a way that made sense and looked nice as like a. You also want it to be easy to read and like use.
Well, yeah, yeah, that's the thing. You need to balance the legibility of the information and the look. So there's a balance to strike there, which leans quite hard towards being usable.
Yeah.
But what we discussed at some point, I don't know if we would still consider it. Maybe as a stretch goal was to because I think the back, with the exception of the seal on top, I think the dagger, the keys, and the coins, I think it's the same for all the classes. So maybe with the stretch goal we might, I don't know, revisit and say, well, actually for the necromancer it's a skull, or for the
I think that
cleric.
was the intention, yeah. Because I think these are very roguish sort of. I mean, coins. Everyone likes coins, but
Yeah, I think
uh,
it's just people really. There's so much aspect that come in the preparation of a Kickstarter like that, that even our own ideas and thing we said we would or would not do uh, can get lost in the way. And yeah, let's be clear. Even in the middle of the Kickstarter, new ideas come about. It's not set in stone all. So yeah, we it's interesting to be to look at those things and be like, "Ah, hang on a minute, did we forget that we
yeah.
wanted to do that thing? Is that a stretch goal, or did we include that in the budget already?"
I think another point about this as a list as well is that it happens sometimes with me in D&D and another a game that I'm designing as well a little bit. Like to have an image of something, it kind of sets what that thing looks like for someone in their head. Whereas I think if you have just the words, they create it in their head how like in a different way. So like three different people might come up with different ideas based on this description. And I think that's really good for this sort of creative game as well.
Yeah, and on one hand, it's interesting. I've seen the way people play the game evolve as the assets improved. So when the assets were really those, super simple things that I've got here,
Mm,
people were um, more likely to adopt the original philosophy, which is the dungeon can be really anything in any setting. And I
yeah.
remember the first session I played, we played a Star Wars style dungeon, and another was more of Call of Cthulhu in a non-Euclidean dimension type of thing, but we were like 1920s character and so on. And the the artworks are doing so much heavy lifting in terms of the wacky tone, so that's really helps.
Yeah.
But it and we did pay attention at including where we mentioned the the power calculator from Dragon
Mm,
Ball, and we got things which are more contemporary object like the sunglasses and so on, and we got a CD case. But yeah, people as the assets developed and went back a bit more to the middle, still doing things which are
yeah.
wacky and a mix of things, but that became more and more, yeah, a wacky medieval fantasy dungeon rather than really the as much of a spectrum. But so it's interesting. It really helped conveying the tone, but in terms of fostering creativity, it
Yeah.
has a not adverse, but it did shape the way people engage with the game by default.
Hey, maybe another stretch goal. You get every genre, just reprint of each genre in the same set.
That's actually a project for an expansion, but we need the first Kickstarter to do super well to do that. But yeah, no, you're right. I like cyberpunk supplement or things like that. We'll see how thing will turn out. But yeah, Flavio from Grumpy Bear Publishing or boss. Can we say that? I'm sure Flavio. No, I'm not your boss. Or very knowledgeable, publisher in terms of delivering board games. Before, because Flavio was involved in board game publishing. In terms of product design, this is really the contribution of Grumpy Bear, and because neither myself or Bodieh had experience with that, so it's reshaping the game and making something that will be fulfilled and manufactured in a way that makes sense and that makes something that's cool for everyone. and affordable because yeah, we advertise a lot or big hoarder pledge level, and by all means do pledge at that level as part of the Kickstarter, because afterwards there will be only the retail store version. But we worked very hard in discussion so that the retail store version is affordable. So it's only $35 for 100 tarot sites, cards, dry erase pens, dice, a nice box, and so on. Sadly, Flavio shipped the latest prototype to me today. I really look forward to having it. Uh, Taking advantage of that for a plug. I will be at Dragonmeet Call to Adventure at Kensington Town Hall on Saturday to with the prototype. So you will be able to touch it, look at it, ask questions, and have a little go at using it with me. Yeah. Anything to add on the grocery list, buddy?
No, I think we covered it. I think it's another great one. Good job, us.
Good job, us. All right. We're approaching to the end. And so what I did with the design of the game, I included. So this is an X card for people not aware. So these are used as safety tools in games, and this game is quirky and fun. So it's not especially the one that necessarily goes into the most likely to trigger one another, but still, Paris Gondo, the figure behind the Paris Gondo method to help you declutter. Of course, declutter is about well-being, and well-being relies on emotional safety. So the game does include an X card, and this is the one I designed on my own. So this one was in color. I don't remember how it ended up being in color, to be honest, rather than black and white in the original one. But yeah, it was already in color. This was the version that will never be. So again, we've got your pattern, but I remember moving things around so it would avoid DX rather than putting it in the back. So this is the version of the parallel world where I would have gone
Mm.
do this Kickstarter on my own and things would not be as nice. This is, I think it's a month old or something like that. This is the X card designed by Bodieh, which is a great design, but as far as commissioning goes, it's hard to think of something drier to ask from you to say do do a big X in bricks or something.
I had fun with it. I think it's. I mean, I can never draw enough bricks. Like I
You
said, I
do
draw
like
doors every
bricks.
day. So yeah,
That you must miss them when you do Mothership.
yeah. I replaced them with pipes. I love pipes. Pipes and vents in Mothership and bricks in D&D. But no, I don't know. There's something very satisfying and like meditative about drawing brick patterns. And like if you do it too precisely, like it looks wrong and doesn't feel right. So you have to kind of make sure they're not quite lining up correctly. And yeah,
I
it's a
it,
favorite of mine.
so in my past life, I actually was an architect, and I left the country I was born because people were way too much into bricks. So I got sick of bricks. So I guess this is more like stones, which is a bit less triggering for me. But it's all in in the details. I mean, you live in the Netherlands, so you see your fair share of bricks. But it's all on the edges and the joints. As they
Mm.
reach, you got this little gap. So yeah, you've got the thumbs up from the former architect. Did you went as far as looking into, because I had to study that different, it's not the case here, but going into a weird niche, are you fluent in the different type of brick assembly patterns that you can make? You have the front facing one, then the side facing one, or is this something next time I come to Harlem, I should point at, say, here this is a Flemish
Yeah.
assembly, here's a Walloon assembly.
Like you mean no, I'm not aware of this. I only do it one way, but like I'm curious. I think that would be a
Uh,
good project to expand my brick knowledge.
okay, next time I visit my mom's, I will try to recover
Yeah,
some syllabus describing all of that, and I'll ship them to you.
it sounds like one of those like secret secret tours that is surprisingly really cool that sounds really boring. Like Callum's brick tour.
Maybe another thread call. Callum will take you on the brick tour.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. A difficult one, but then again, I managed with the original one to find. I had to dig for this one, and it's actually a detail from an artwork of a wizard, and I
Okay.
purchased from you the old artwork with the wizard, which is featured. I should be able to find the page somewhere in the book. So the full wizard is featured in the original book, but actually I oh yeah, well, there it is.
Like a
Yeah,
cat wizard, right?
it's this one. And but the reason I picked that one in my own grocery shopping list to art for artwork to license from you, yeah, was to reuse the fireball as the spark of joy at the time.
Does it have its hands backwards? Because I remember that's a thing in like D&D lore that it's a type of cat humanoid
Ah,
and their hands are
ah.
reversed, and it's like I think it would be a thing that I would do that I would refuse to draw it with its hands backwards because I think that's really silly.
Thing is, it's not the
Yeah.
hands. Is I know about the legs. Is it the hands as well? It's called a
Yeah,
rak.
like their hands are on the wrong hands or something. It's a but maybe
Ah,
not this.
yeah.
The
I
like
remember now.
Rakshasha or something is the yeah. I
Rakshaka or
mean,
something like that. Yeah, they got legs which are uh like a kangaroo or something, with the knee
oh
going
maybe.
the other way. But you're right that because the original old art had something weird going on with the hands. Moving forward, they decided that it was the
Yeah,
law and that they were inverted.
I didn't know that's why. If that's why that I like that, then I think that's hilarious.
I was already recycling your art because at the time here the pattern was I bought a sticker sheet artwork you made and then reused the
Mm.
objects again and again in a ton of different ways in the original book. Uh, yeah. Then again, the
My
version that never was. The plan was at some point to commission something for the Spark of Joy, but in the meantime, for the Kickstarter campaign on my own before Grumpy Bear stuff joined, that was what it would look like. Yeah, well, I'm not kidding. My Kickstarter page was ready. I had all the headers, all the text. I just had to hit launch, and it was going. So yeah, yeah, Rakshasa. Yeah, I guess Lono they
yeah.
inspired by Southern Asia, but knowing the Gigaxian lore, let's say they were freely inspired by Southern Asia.
The those sticker sheets actually my mum messaged me a few weeks ago saying that she found like 1,000 of those sticker sheets under my
Oh,
old bed. Good.
if they still stick, you need to bring them to Dragon Meat.
Yeah.
All right, and then we've got finally the final Spark of Joy, which I think we said I like it because it looks somewhat threatening. So, I think I did share in the chat when we were discussing that. I don't know if it was before or after. I shared a picture of the famous, and I believe she's engaged. She used a internet celebrity for good causes, so she seemed to be a lovely person. But the over attached girlfriend,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, there's something in the expression that really really reminds me of her in that famous picture.
No, but it looks I mean I think it looks really funny, but it looks like something that's happy but happy because it's in a cult. Like
And it wants you to join.
yeah. So you can be as happy.
Flavio compared it to, I think we shared a picture of that, to Badgie in Lower Decks, who's got this kind of
Yeah, that's right.
unhinged, friendly vibe that turns evil. It,
Mm.
it also reminds me, Grantor, there are sponges that looks like that.
Oh
a
yeah, I
bit.
have a Scrub Daddy.
Yeah, Scrub Daddy. I don't. Have you seen
Yeah.
Grant Hobbit's post about it? I don't think it was the original person to discover that, but that's through Grant Hobbit that I found out about it. That actually, the idea is that you can grab it by the eyes with your fingers to do some types of cleaning, and you can use the mouth to clean the spoons. But when you see that on pictures,
Yeah,
that looks
yeah.
just very cruel.
No, it's I a friend of mine was so into Scrub Daddy because it was on Dragon's Den. It came out originally. I know the whole history. I listened to like a podcast about it the other day as well. It's a fascinating story. I mean, maybe that's the whole story, but it's funny. For a sponge to have a big story is funny.
We got a couple people in the chat room. Thank you very much for joining. We got the author of the excellent Terminus. If you want some adventure in the London Underground as the Elizabeth line is inaugurated, sort of eldritch adventure, please by all means go check Sarah Cole's Terminus. Is there anyone with questions in the chat room? I'm gonna put up the chat room if it works. Hello, Sarah. Spoiler alert, yeah, Patchwork Fez is actually Sarah. Restart this. Over. Lono, any question? Flavio, any question? Any complaints about me and Bodieh? We're doing our
I'm
best
kind
to
of sad
promote
that
this.
we don't have Geordie. I like one of the drafts of the box cover had a guy that looked like Geordie from Star Trek. So I
Oh,
miss him a little
really?
bit. I
What?
think I
What?
just did the little visor. He was one where
Yeah.
they were facing away.
What? So, Sardonicus, what changes have you made since I playtested it? Well, I would have to remember to have a memory to remind quite a way back. So in terms of rules, since you played, oh wow, what changed? You know, the game design didn't change that much. I did change the replay because we received feedback about things which was a bit in poor taste in a public context. We changed the scrying pool of long distance relationship. Used to be a fae in a cage, and yeah, using a sentient creature as a looted item that wasn't great. Oh, Sarah asked what changed since you play tested that a month ago, and or even less than that, and since then I went on holiday, so things didn't progress at all. Sarah had the privilege of being part of the first playtest of our procedure deck, so we don't have visuals to share about that, but the idea is that we'll have a specific deck for your first session, or if you prefer to have a play experience which is more structured. And these are cards you flip. You got one deck for each. Well, we're still working on that, so it might change. But in my prototype, you got one deck for each of the 6 steps, and you flip the cards and you read the instruction, and it really takes you step by step. You don't need to read the rules beforehand, no prep whatsoever. You just flip the cards from the deck, a bit like for the Queen, or actually exactly like for the Queen, and it tells you what actions you are supposed to perform. So I have not worked further on that procedure deck. I shared it with Flavio, who might have worked a bit further. I think we need to communicate a bit more about it in the Kickstarter at some point. Uh, the additional classes. So Lono is asking, super excited to see these additional classes. So we got the monk and the necromancer, for which we haven't commissioned art from a Bodieh yet. I got, you know, we introduced a character with an afro, which I hope comes across as inclusive from people from, from for black people, and we'd like personally, I would like the game to encourage a diverse range of people to play in the game, to recognize themselves in the game. Personally, the monk or the necromancer, I would like to work with some people in the TTRPG scenes who are more informed than I am, but I would really like one of them to be a wheelchair user, either the monk or the necromancer. I don't know. I'm cautious of my biases or lack of knowledge in things. So there's someone I have in mind to involve as an expert to give us feedback on that. So that should be really exciting. I really look forward when we start working with Bodieh and that person. It's not contracted or agreed, so I won't name them, and it might not be them. That might be another person. But yeah, it's really cool to have the monk and the necromancer, which are classes with new specific rules attached to them. But yeah, you are you well versed in drawing monks and necromancers?
I mean, yeah, I love it. I've been drawing a lot of skeletons lately. I'm now imagining a really awesome skeletal wheelchair. It would be pretty
Hmm.
sick.
Maybe you were mentioning a Geordie LaForge like type of
Yeah,
visor. That could be our monk. Could be nice
yeah.
to have a. It could be a monk a monk engineer. He's fighting with two wrenches in their hands, and they got a visor and so on.
Yeah.
Kind of a merger of Geordie and Worf. Yeah, maybe something that won't get us sued from Paramount, but that could still be noticeable for the fans.
They don't own visors. That's fine. They
Uh,
probably do actually. I don't know.
yeah, thanks Sarah for saying that the procedure deck appeared to work well. It was an encouraging first playtest. Like it reassured me that yes, that should be achievable. It will require a lot of work and fine tuning, but as a your very first complete draft of anything is always the a big milestone to reach. So yeah, it was nice to have the pressure I set myself to play that session on that time with you and the others and have this come over. No questions, no more questions. So last ask for a question, and if not, well, there will be a day. I will just advise everyone to go on our Kickstarter page to message me if first draft equal best draft. Depends, I got my first draft of Nameless Nightmares of Cthulhu, plugging another project out there on itch.io. You can go see it. I'm not so convinced anymore about this draft, especially the tone of it. I want to find the time to go back and change an angle I took in it, which was to pretend I was transcribing a game. Yeah, created by a opinionated individual, pretending it was not myself. But yeah. Yep, that's it. Yeah, thanks Lono for the comments on the diversity. I'm gonna read what he said. The hairstyle of the afro, as long as the individual is in a caricature of Black Americans or similar diasporas, should be fine. Many ethnicities and races have similar hairstyle due to how the hair grows, so it can be representative more than just the black community. So yeah, the artwork's been out there. Some people did ask the question about sensitivity readers, especially about the fact that the game is inspired by Marie Kondo. The thing is, we working hard to avoid any sensitive aspects, so it's slightly different than from including things, but yeah, it might be. So hopefully, it's adequate and people are happy with it. I've only heard good vibes about the reception of the cover, but yeah, there's some things it might will be worthwhile to ask opinions from people who are better informed, and the wheelchair is part of that, and the afro. I ask friends, but let's be clear, it's not like having a sensitivity reader to or consultant to look into that. But yeah, the cover I only received good feedback, so yeah, crossing fingers that it's adequate. All right. Well, thanks everyone. Again, go check the Kickstarter. I was spending this time. We are at 418 backers, $26,000 of pledges. Thank you so much for giving such a good reception to the game. We have much more in store. We got the next. Oh, we were talking about the procedure deck. So The next stretch goal is about its development. So it includes more things in it. So it's at 30,000. So please do come and pledge. Please share. If you are fluent in Reddit, I would love to see Reddit posts because I'm quite inept. At the end of the day, I will post there myself, but I will come across as what I am, which is an awful person who never posts there except to plug themselves. So if you have good vibes about the game or questions about the game that you'd like to share with the Reddit community, please go do there, or any platform, any game groups, any help sharing far and wide this project would be much appreciated. Thank you, Bodieh, for joining me today and being so quiet while I was talking way too much as usual.
No worries. It was nice hanging out.
All right, thanks everyone. Take care and yeah, continue sparking joy. Cheers. Bye.